Love, family, support, community, compassion, and service are all the words that make me think about Youth Build and the why I continue to do the work that I do. Having been a part of the Youth Build network for over a decade, I have been able to see how young people who commit themselves to change and given the right set of tools and supportive, loving adults in their lives can become successful. I started my Youth Build journey in Harlem, New York, and now I find myself on assignment in Salem, Massachusetts. Starting my early days in Youth Build as a social work intern, moved my way up to the director, to now the chief program officer, I've been able to see hundreds of young people who felt like no one loved them and that the world had turned their back on them, leave them negative thoughts and realities of life that they faced, and motivate themselves to seek change, seek opportunity, and break cycles of oppression and depression that had lingered in their families for years. I've seen youth who dropped out of high school become high school graduates. I've seen youth who once were homeless sign a lease or become a homeowner. I've seen youth who once led gangs become leaders in their communities. And I've seen youth who thought their only destiny in the world end up in prison or dead, become hard-working citizens of our society, with families and breaking the curses of their family's lineage. So when asked why I do the work I do, it is because I feel like the Most High has given me gifts, talents, and provisions to be a listening ear, a word of wisdom, a mentor, and a helper. Over the years, my faith has sustained me in the work that I do, but also my consistent reminder of the difference that accountability, consistency, challenges, struggles, hope, faith, and love can make in the lives of others. At a young age, I too felt I would not be successful because I wasn't the smartest in my class, because I didn't get A's, because I did not pass every test, because my reading wasn't perfect. The reality of knowing that I was filled with talents, wisdom, and gifts has always made me want to do more and walk in my purpose and with intention. The absolute essence of Youth Build has been a constant in my life, which is the untold story of how tough love molded me and shaped me to be who I am today. A story of my childhood remains to me forever in my memory and sustains me daily to understand that every brick that is laid leaves a foundation that will forever be tattooed on my heart. The story I'm about to share has left an everlasting impact on my life and a story that I share with youth all the time. My father, one of 13 kids, grew up in Harlem, New York, and was the only one out of his family to end the cycle of poverty in our family. He was a corrections officer, which he often said was just a prison guard. However, he has done so much more than he realized. He was able to earn his GED, just like many of our Youth Build students, and find success despite the past of his family. This makes me the perfect candidate for a tough love model, and the tough love model that youth builders need. Every summer he used to make us do random stuff around the house. Sometimes he just felt like he wanted to give us stuff to do. But the reality is that there was a lesson in everything that he did. But one day Papa came home with a trunk full of bricks. He told us to grab the cart and move the bricks into the cart. We started moving the bricks into the cart and soon realized this was going to be an all-day project. He directed us to stack the bricks on the right side of the fence in the backyard. Once we finished the task, we were all too tired to even play that day. The next day he said, "You see those bricks outside? I need you to move them to the other side of the fence now." So we moved them to the other side of the yard. Throughout the summer, my father instructed us in this pattern of moving bricks around the yard, from one side to the other side and back. Until one day, he worked with us and we started building a walkway with the bricks. He shared with us that these bricks had been from the building he grew up in as a child in Harlem, a building where his family was the last family to live in, as it was abandoned and did not even have running water. What I now know, these bricks created a foundation and planted a seed in my life that has sustained me. I share this story because moving those bricks were a reminder of two things that had stood with me throughout my life. One, always lift with your legs and not your back. I learned that the hard way. We are always working on building our foundation, and we must use our foundation to get us to where we need to go, and it takes us to our purpose. And two, no matter where we come from or what we have accomplished, we are constantly building on something. We may not know how it will look in the end, and sometimes we don't know why we are moving the bricks, but we know, just like my father knew, that it will continue to grow a foundation for many generations. So when asked why I do the work I do it because it is the continuous building of a foundation that will continue to be built over and over in the lives of the youth that have the experience in Youth Build and the generations that they birth after. As I continue to do the work I do, I look forward to continue to build an everlasting foundation, brick by brick, and always remembering that there is always struggle on the path to progress, which leads to success.